I did promise that we had youth very much in mind. Well, next we're going to hear a little bit about the new Activate supplement. It's been introduced to the Sunday Times, and it's aimed at young people who are wanting to transform, I think, themselves and subsequently to transform their communities. It's been put together by Times Media Education and also something called Activate Leadership. And to tell us a little bit more, we have on the line Terence Madiba. Hi, Terence.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much. Terence, I love your surname. What is your role in the Activate supplement and the Activate Leadership? Really?
My role in Activate is, generally, I am a team leader within a nodal office which is based in Gauteng. Now, the Gauteng nodal office is responsible for most of the inland provinces to support the Activate network within the inland provinces. And within the supplement that we have put out in the Sunday Times is a collection, or it basically details the story of an activator. Now, what is an activator, people might ask, and what is this Activate network? The Activate network was started on the premise that there are already thousands of extraordinary young South Africans who wake up every day committed to making a difference in South Africa or in society as well as their own lives. Now, this network brings together a group of young leaders who are then being equipped to drive change for the public good across South Africa and, of course, in their society as well as their own lives. Now, an activator, person who is a leader in their own right, who take leadership in their society, in their community to begin to see change happening. They are a mobilizer, meaning they join forces with other activators to confront some of the biggest challenges that we face in society and in our communities. They are also an innovator, meaning they look for creative solutions to challenges that seem impossible around them. Now, they are also a connector, meaning they using the connections that they have to maximize the social capital that is available around them and within the network to drive this change in their society. Now, the aim is to create a generation of effective citizens who love South Africa enough to begin to drive change in their own lives, to inspire others through their works, but also to begin to challenge those that sit in leadership positions and begin to say, how do we hold ourselves accountable that we promise to deliver because we sit in those positions. Now, the supplements that we have done in partnership with the Sunday Times, they take us on a journey of an activator to say, if one person is an activator, what is the journey that they go through to explore their own life?
Okay, well, I was looking at your website earlier, thanks for the links, and looking at some of the activators, and the words you use are, you've got to be an activator, you've got to be a mobilizer, you've got to be a connector, but you've also got to have a real interest in something, because it seems that the ones that I looked at, they've all got a specific interest. There was a cyclist, and there was an artist, I think, and somebody was environmental. So first, I suppose, a young person, to see themselves as an activator, they've got to have something through which they're going to activate. Yes.
Now, every young person or everyone who comes into the program, they have a need. They've seen a certain sector of society. Like, we are not just one sectoral. We cover a variety of different sectors in society. Some people are interested in education, some people are interested in environment, but you need to have that thing, because we all have that thing that drives us, that gives us sleepless nights, that make us sit and say, somebody ought to do something about that. Mm-hmm. Or there are things that we see that as people generally in society that I say, that thing is not working out, and I think somebody ought to do something about it. And we begin to take those and to say, how do we build capacity among each other and build a common identity where we can begin to bring out these big ideas, or begin to take out these ideas that we have within the challenges that we identify and begin to bridge them out and come up with solutions that can be implemented by ourselves and other young people. So the change from everyone's purpose or the drive or the thing that is burning within them that they want to make a change in.
The most important thing, I think, about the supplement is that it means that a whole wide variety of people who wouldn't otherwise know these young people who are busy doing whatever they're doing, it's brought to their attention. Now, how did that work? Has somebody sat down and written the stories of each and every activator, or have the activators themselves written and read their story? How did it work?
What has happened is these are part of the stories that were also collected through our program. Now, the program, the way it's designed is the first year of activators coming into the program, they go through a 25-day modular program, which is a journey that we take them through. Now, the journey follows a similar journey to what the supplements look at, but it goes into more detail than the supplements. Now, in this 25-day three-modular program, it's broken down into a three-modular series of, we capture these trainings, which means one, the first module basically looks at identity, a sense of self. Who are you? Where do you come from? What are the things that drive you? What are your values? What are the goals that you would love to achieve as a person? And as it goes forward, so as we are capturing those journeys, we realize that these journeys represent what a typical South African might go through, but some of them do not have these spaces to either have these conversations or share these spaces. So which is where we begin to harvest some of the stories that have come out through this process of interacting with the activators and putting them into a document like this, the way the supplement is structured, so that we can begin to allow other young South Africans who are not necessarily part of the Activate network yet, so that we can expose them to the journey that other young people are going through in beginning to drive change in their communities and in beginning to identify who they are within a collective of other young people. So when they begin to hear those stories, they also wrote down some of the stories as we were collecting them through the that we had with them.
So readers can sort of almost do the program secondhand, sort of vicariously through the activators themselves. Has it worked? I think there are going to be 3 supplements. The one was in last week. Mm-hmm. What sort of response did you get to that?
There is, in terms of this, for now, this has begun to give, because Activate is a new platform that most people did not know. When we speak about what an activator is, like what an activator is doing or who's an activator. So the response is now people are beginning to see who an activator is. They're beginning to see the kind of thinking that goes into an activator and go deeper into the life of an activator in terms of seeing what they're exposed to and the way they see the world. So there's been positive feedback in terms of what an activator does, and also just it has created that idea that I can also be an activator as another young person, because the supplements they expose you, but they don't go in detail into how you go deeper into those conversations. So they allow you to be part of the conversation. However, they could also still come into the program, and once they come into the program, they begin to go deeper into those conversations, to also meet up with other young people, not just on the media space, but in real life, and begin to be part of this greater network. And I'm glad to say that our application is also open currently for next year's group of activators. And for those that are interested in being part of this Activate network, they can find out more through the social spaces that we put out in the supplement, or for those that didn't get hold of the supplement, they can go to our website, which is www.activateleadership.co.za, to begin to find out more about how to become part of the network and join forces with all these other young people that are already in the network.
Yeah, I guess it's really good for young people to inspire young people to, see these people, see the activators as role models, but nothing to stop older people looking at it and thinking, maybe I haven't done so much with my life, maybe it's not too late for me either. But the other thing is that looking at the map on the website, there are activators all over the country. So is it possible to connect with any of them? I mean, if for instance, you're interested in, cycling or one of the things that you mentioned, is it possible for a young person to connect with that activator?
Yes, it is very possible. And the reason why we also put the activators on a map is we map it out to a point that, remember, a lot of these young people also, they need to connect with each other to say, maybe I'm a young person who's in another province, is not part of the network, and I see that there's another activator doing something similar to what I'm doing. So they can connect, but at the same time, we also allow spaces for businesses that might say, as part of our CSI, we support projects that are similar to what this young person in the Western Cape is doing. And they can be able to, because then we have mapped out all the young people in the country and what they are involved in, so they can begin to start to connect with that to begin to support these initiatives. Though we put up, we have platforms that we have in place that also allow for these engagements to happen. Like we have the Activate Exchange, and we are having one coming soon in Cape Town. That is where we bring thought leaders in business, thought leaders in civil society, and thought leaders in government to say, how do we begin to support this energy of young people that is coming up and saying, we don't just want to sit and allow things to just happen or wait for change to happen. We want to be the drivers of that.
Yeah.
So we begin to say, how to support initiatives that young people come up with.
Yeah.
How does government support these initiatives, and how does civil society play a role in terms of collaborating and co-creating these spaces for change to begin to come up. So it allows for that networking to happen beyond just young people connecting with each other.
Bit of proactivity. We're out of time, Terence, but just briefly, the next two supplements, will there be, there wasn't one in this week's Sunday Times, will there be one in next week's?
There won't be one next week, but we will probably put up communication through our social media site as to when the supplements will be coming out.
Okay.
But for more information, everybody can contact us on the website that I've given, www.activateleadership.co.za, or they can follow our Facebook page, which is Activate Leadership, or follow us on Twitter, which is @ActivateZA.
Excellent. Terence, super. Thank you very much. Very best of luck with that. A really good idea. Thanks a lot. Well, if you'd like to read more, maybe you didn't see the last supplement, do check their site. It's activateleadership.co.za. Equally, they're on Facebook. Also find them on Twitter. It's @ActivateLeadership. And you're listening to SFM Literature right here. And if you're a regular listener, you will know that next up it's time for the Sunday Play.
The Sunday Play.